going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Make sure you guys please do me a favor, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below any other videos, any topics you guys would like me to cover. So today we have a midweek S&P 500 or E-mini futures recap. Basically just me checking in with y'all and seeing, what we got going on here in the markets in ES, right? So pulling up a weekly chart here. We'll start at the weekly chart. This video basically is just, me and you doing some charting, kind of get into my mind a little bit. So, we had the clear reject right here. And then we gapped down and we've been selling ever since. So, where do we go from here? It's a great question. It's a great question. Just strictly by the looks of it, I kind of expect us to do something similar to this right here for the next week or so, 2 weeks. See that consolidation? Yeah, me personally, I kind of expect to see us consolidate. This range was only, let's see, it's about a 2% range. So let's just say, we'll go down from here, 2%. Maybe trade this 410 area, or maybe down here. I think we could probably get down here to 405 to this prior low. So yeah, I'm kind of expecting some range trading action, something along in this box. And the lowest side possible, probably for now, would be this node right here. You see this node, 393, 394. I don't really see that happening. But I do think we consolidate in a tight range, probably somewhere in here, 408, let's just say, up to maybe 420. This is kind of what I'm looking for. So if, on my daily chart, I use two moving averages. I use the 15 and the 21 day, just simple moving averages. So, and that's just what I choose, right? So you can choose whatever you want to choose, but I've been using these moving averages, so I do understand how they work and how a price moves up based off of these moving averages, in particular ES, but as well as Tesla and Apple. Anyways, so I'm kind of looking for this to happen, a consolidation. Do I think we break back down and make new lows? I don't really know, but I do think we could test down here into this 380s. Now, let's talk about the catalysts for further upside, and let's talk about the catalysts for downside. For me, the bullish case, the upside case, is America seems to be in the best position economically, in terms of world powers, in particular China and the EU, European Union. So I do think the money, the money that we're talking about is going to be foreign investors, Saudi wealth funds, Malaysia wealth funds, all these wealth funds. I do think one of the safest spots for these companies is going to be in American equities. That's the bullish side of things, the bullish case that stocks can continue to sit higher. There was an article that came out today that from, I believe, JP Morgan, the head of the cash desk trading, that said they had 5 large orders from hedge funds on the tape. They were all buys. And so I do think, and they're buying up here, right? So that's something to take into consideration. I do think we're going to have foreign money continuing to pour in, and I think that maybe could hold us elevated. Now, if things really start to get bad on the economic front, then we will definitely make new lows and we'll end up reaching this 340. One thing to keep in mind, now switching over to the bear case, to the bear side of things, rate hikes tend to take, between 6 and 12 months to work through the system to actually, make an impact, right? So to actually see the impact, to see the tangible impact, excuse me. So that is something worth watching, right? Because we started rate hikes and we're still doing rate hikes, right? So what are these rate hikes going to do, now to the companies 6 to 12 months from now? There was an article out today on Zero Hedge, which is biased usually to the bear side, but they do post bullish and bearish, theses. One of the bearish takes, there was an article that came out today by Zero Hedge that said that the amount of companies in the United States that are laying off workers is over 50%. They said it was 52% if I remember correctly. So 52% of US companies have laid off workers within the past couple months, or are laying off workers as we speak. That to me is bearish, right? Anytime we're getting large layoffs like that is bearish. It's going to be good for the companies in the long run. A lot of these companies are going to become more profitable, higher cash flow. So long run, this is all great, right? If you're a long-term investor, you can continue to dollar cost average into this stuff. These are all great deals. You have Apple down way off highs. You have Microsoft down off highs. Google. I mean, these are the best companies in the world. I do like Microsoft a lot more than I like Google right now. But I also love Apple always. But I also love AMD. There's some of the chip names. I don't love Nvidia like a lot of other people do. I prefer AMD over Nvidia. That's just to me. Let's look at Nvidia. Um, I've heard a lot of really successful seasoned traders talk about this chart, and to a lot of them, this is a long-term top. Like when you get a run up like this that leads the bull market, right? So this led the bull market, the last bull market, right? And this went, 100 and almost 200% in a year, right? That's pretty insane. That doesn't happen. So the theory really behind this is that all of this excess gets all the way ran off all the way down, right? And so all these people that bought and that are selling now, taking profits here, um, they're getting stopped out down here as we go lower. So, I don't know. I don't really love Nvidia's chart just strictly based off of that. The fact that it led the last bull market and that every bull market has new leaders, generally speaking, not every, but a very high percentage of them have new leaders. I think AMD could be that leader and help lead the chips higher. So that's personally kind of the way I'm looking at it. Let's look at the Dixie. Since the last time we spoke, we had a weekly print. Where was it? Right here. Wow. This is strong. This is extremely strong. It's still at resistance, right? It's still overbought on the weekly. I do think we're probably trying to form a top here on the dollar. Strictly from a technical perspective, right? This is not a fundamental. This is strictly technical. It looks like it's topped out for now. However, if you're just looking at this right here, if you're just looking at this, there's reason to be bullish there. And you'd just be looking for that break of the highs, that push through the highs, which is also this resistance, which if that happens, then it's going to break out over this, and then it could push, could really push. Personally, I don't really see that happening. Let's look at the NQ. All right, so we'll see if this was a fake out. They tried to peek it out. To me, this is a breakout. This is a fake out as long as it stays below this prior low. So here's a cool little thing that you could, pay attention to, that I pay attention to. See this candle right here? This low, this was, it stood up after this, a nice volume candle into resistance, right? And then it stood up on resistance. To me, to see that this is a reversal, I want to see a close below this level, 12.9, 12.955, 12.96, something like that. If it closes below that, anyone who was long in here, on long on this candle, and anyone who got long on this candle, I mean, and might have risked off this low, they're going to start stopping out, right? So you could see increased sellers come down as we hold below this level, and alerts are, and stops are starting to get hit. That could lead to a cascading back down into here, into this level. But that's good. That's a pretty key level, 12.955, 12.96, that I'd pay attention to on the NASDAQ. And let's look at Apple. Apple. This, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know what Apple wants to do. It's a great company, obviously. It's one of the best companies. But just like I was talking about Nvidia, there is, could it trade sideways for a year or two? Yeah. If we just go, let's see, let's go to a 4-month chart, quarters. It hasn't really traded sideways in a while since here, but Apple, I'm not really sure what Apple wants to do from here. I think that's a pretty crazy run. That's a lot of green. So to me, that's due for 2 reds, 3 reds at least. I would probably lean towards 3. So I would expect more downside on Apple personally. Not really sure where this one's going to stop. But let's pull up ES and let's go to a 1-hour chart. What are we looking at on the 1-hour chart? This is where, okay. So let's pay attention to a couple things. First off, the sell-off from this level, this 430 level, was violent, extremely violent. You do see we have the increased volume. See this down here? That's increasing volume on the sell side from the top. Okay, so that's good. You do know it's real bears coming in here starting to sell, take some profits. Which, right, it makes sense considering it's gone from, this is the S&P 500 E-mini futures, considering it's gone from 370 up to 430, absolute wicked monster move. It's just a 15-16% move, and higher. It was more like 20 off the bottom, but from here it was like 15% in, about a month. So yeah, obviously you're going to get profit takers up here. Some people are, you do take money off the table. That's how you make money in this business. So anyways, let's see. What I would watch from a technical perspective would be this right here. See this little resistance? To me, it looks like it probably was going to bounce from here just because it's so oversold. Looks like you're probably going to get an oversold rally. A little one. But that little one, maybe I'm talking 415, 414. Push up a little bit off this just to reset the RSI enough. But this is a trend line that I'd be paying attention to. If you don't believe in trend lines, then you can skip this part. But I've seen trend lines work thousands of times, so I'm going to stick with my trend lines. This is your level. Your level is this prior low here, 411. But like I said, on the daily chart, I kind of expect it to trade in a range. That range could be anywhere from up here, 417, 418, down to here, 408. That's kind of the range I'm anticipating. And I anticipate this range into the end of the month, into September. And from there, we will see what wants to happen. But just look at how key this level is right here. You see this red line, 415, prior last month's high. That's your level to watch. You want a monthly. If the monthly closes below that, great chance that we see some more downside. If the monthly can close above that, bulls have something to hope on to, to hold on to hope for. that's a big level. So that's a level I'll be watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, like this video, subscribe to my channel. This is just me talking through charts, talking through what I'm seeing. And I appreciate everyone who has been watching, who has been viewing, subscribing. And I will be back with more videos. Peace.